Welcome back to the first podcast TV. This is where we talk about sex, we talk about love, we talk about relationship. And so today we are going to dive into a more different thing, into a more not really personal, but we are going to dive into something that if you look at most relationships, it claims the lives of those that are engaged in those relationships. And so, as we all know, that sometimes love is sweet. It's really sweet, especially when it starts. When the reason as to why this episode is more something that claims the lives of many people, like in between the marriage. It's because you get married for like 5 years, 10 years, and then at some point something just happens. This is something that you've never seen, and you haven't, like, even a single day, it's never happened, but this one day just happened. And so today, this we are going to discuss with you guys, my audience, to see what are the best ways, what are the best solutions to get away with all this, because they always say when relationships starts becoming toxic, then one of the ways is perhaps talking to one another, or maybe if that talking doesn't work anymore, you just have to walk out because you don't have any other option. And so we are going to dwell in femicide. Femicide is more of, from the definition, it's the actual killing of a girl child or a woman or a lady. And so, but then someday something just happened. It just happened, and you don't know how, you don't know when, you don't know how it started and when it started, but it just happened. And that is where now you start realizing that your relationship has a problem and you really need to talk to each other. This is because perhaps in those 5 years or in those 10 years, there is a hidden character that you never saw and you've never seen in this partner of yours, especially with the ladies. So I'm referring to the ladies. This is something that maybe your man has never shown you. And so one day it's just boom, and then it starts with the beating. The beating always just comes you start arguing in a small thing, just a small thing that you feel this is something that at least we should have talked. I know he would have understood me, but then that doesn't happen. Instead, he understands you with slaps and beating. That is day one. Day two, another thing happens. You try to explain, but it doesn't even seem to have a reasonable answer. And so another slap, another beating. 1 week passes, 2 weeks passes, and now with the time it becomes a habit. This means every other night, every other day, you have bruises everywhere, in your eyes, in your face. Your beautiful face starts fading off because of bruises. Your beautiful body starts fading off because it's beaten every other time. It's always bruises. And so you sit there asking yourself, what should I do? You sit there asking yourself, is this the marriage that I got into? Is this the man that I really loved, like, with all my heart. Is this the man that I gave everything of mine? You see, as time goes by, the more you ask yourself that, the guy, you find that the guy doesn't change. However much you try talking to him, he doesn't change. Instead, he keeps, like, beating you. He keeps, like, you know, some men, they end up even, you've heard the stories. Men even end up, like, they beat you with whatever they find. Like, it's, they even give you blows, and you feel, you like, you ask yourself, what have I done to deserve such? You see, and I believe you've heard the stories, like a man beating a wife in front of the kids. You've seen them on the television, you've seen them on social media, like a man ending up, like, just slaughtering his children, or slaughtering or stabbing the wife more than 10 times or 20 times, you see, and then end up killing himself. You see, you've heard the stories of a man, like, a man just decides to burn the whole house with the wife and kids inside. And so these things, they don't just happen, like, once. They don't just come to happen, like, today it happens. No, it starts with small things, like, and so you find that because there are so many root causes of, like, all these fights, all these things leading to abuse, and then at the end of it leading to femicide. But then if you like, if you are the victim and you feel like, and you realize that these things happen, you realize that your man has started behaving this way, and then you just be there, like, I know he will change. I know someday, sometime, God will touch him. Of course, miracles do happen. Yes, miracles do happen, and some of them end up changing, and they be good people. And I believe you've heard these testimonies in churches. You've heard, like, those who have been saved from such things, those who have been saved from such scenarios. Tackle more on the root causes, because I know you know most of them, but I just want us to discuss what is the one thing that leads to the ending up of just murdering of a girl child, or murdering of a woman, or murdering of a mother. You see, one of the root causes is perhaps the culture belief that according to the culture that we have, men should be the ones leading. You see, they should be the ones taking control of everything, like from the household to the wife to the kids and so this, I think, in most cases it misleads, like, most marriages, because you find that if a man now has that mentality that the culture believes that he is the leader, controller of the house, in the essence of, if the wife does something wrong, he is the one responsible for, like, disciplining the wife, of which it's not right. You've heard men say that ni mwanamke hawezi nikalia. You see, such things, such quotes, like, my wife can't just sit on me. Sitting on me, it's like having a say over him. And so you find that this drives them to the extent of, if a woman just says anything contrary to how he wants it to be, then the discipline part, he disciplines the woman. But then this discipline thing, it doesn't mean that it has to be beatings. They end up, it becomes a norm, like every other day you get beaten for something that it's a very minute thing, but then understand why. You see, as a lady, you sit there, you be like, what has come over this man? What is wrong? What has happened? Like, what has changed all of a sudden? You see, but the more you ask yourself that, this man doesn't change. This man, he doesn't even give you like a small opportunity or chance to speak out, to like air your view on what he figures out as a bad thing. You see, so cultural, at some point I feel like men should just remove this idea of I'm the leader, I'm the one in charge of disciplining my wife, I'm the one in charge of my house, I'm the one in charge of paying the school fees, paying rent. Of course, those are the responsibilities, yes, I agree. But then, when you come into the marriage, both of you, because even the Bible says that the marriage can only be successful when the woman is there, because without a woman, the marriage can't be that successful. And so I feel like if you are married, this cultural thing should just go out of your way. It should be a 50-50 thing. You listen to me, I listen to you. You see, you tell me where I'm wrong, I rectify. I tell you where you're wrong, you rectify. It doesn't have to be like it ends up with the beating and then finally ending up with somebody getting murdered just because of a mistake or a thing that can be discussed and solved. And so that cultural idea, I really feel doesn't work it. Number two is social drivers or social or fear of shame from the society or friends, the social drivers. This means that you find that when a lady starts experiencing all this, she will be there every day getting beaten. Every day she gets beaten. Every other time she's beaten, she's injured. She gets bruises every other, like in her everywhere in her body. Like the beautiful face starts fading off. The beautiful body that she has, it's always in pain. She's always like crying every other time, and so she always sits there asking herself, what have I done wrong? Like, why is this thing happening to me? You see, but at the end of the day, she also figured it out. Like, if I try working out in this relationship or in this marriage, how will my friends out there see me? How will the society see me? How will maybe my parents, how will they see me? Because we find that in most cases, when a lady goes through all this, at some point she tries to complain to the parents, she tries to complain to maybe the friends that are around her, but they keep encouraging her, like they keep telling her that just stay a little bit longer. But the question is, how can you stay a little bit longer when you are getting injured, you are getting bruises every other day, you are getting beatings every other time? You see, I thought these things, the idea of like what will my friends say? How will they see me? Will they see me as somebody who has been who has given up in marriage, or who marriage has like is not her thing? Yet at the first or in the first phase of the marriage, you are very very happy. Like both of you are very happy. You could go around show your man, like showcasing your man and telling how your marriage is really successful. But now it has come to a phase whereby when you want to walk out, you start thinking of my friends. What will my parents say? What will the outside world look at me? And what will the outside world like conclude about me. You see, but this is not the case. Let me tell you, it's never the case, because you are not born to die for someone who doesn't even appreciate you. You are not born to be like beaten every other time. You see, you are not born like you never entered into that marriage signing somewhere that you have to be killed in it so that it be successful. That is not the case. Whoever is listening, if you are going through all this, then you are asking yourself that what if, what if, what if, what if. At some point, what if should never be a reason for you to stay somewhere that you are being mistreated. Yeah? It should never make you stay somewhere where you're being abused physically. So this what if, all of this what if should never be a reason. Even like you just walk out when you can, because when you still sit there asking yourself all this what if, and then with the expectation that my man will change because I don't know him like this, I don't know him. The way we started this, I never saw any of this, and so maybe some of the ladies believe, oh, it's a devil. Of course, if it's a devil, pray for him. If you pray for him, I believe things will work out. God will do miracle, and so things will work out. But if it's someone that perhaps you see, some of them comes from the childhood thing. So if it's someone that grew, and so all this thing happening, then trust me, you walk away as early as you can. And I'm not like advising you to like destroy your relationship or marriage, but like any part of my body, does it have a repair? It doesn't. And the life you're living, are you going to live it twice? Because the second life you'll be living is when you're in heaven, your spirit now. But now on earth you are going to live just one life. So if you're there and you'll be like, everything will be okay. It's fine. If it will be okay for you, it's okay. But if you are seeing that the chances of it being okay, it's zero, then just do the due diligence. Just walk away as early as you can. Number 3 is economic drivers, financial status. I've just said like most people, most women, most ladies, most girlfriends, you see, you walk into a marriage, you move in swiftly for the first 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 15, and then now you are there. You feel like this is it. And so when you start seeing these characters and you be like, when did this start happening? On the other hand, you ask yourself, now if I walk out of this marriage, if I walk out of this relationship, if I walk out of, perhaps you find that after you've stayed for the marriage, in the marriage or in the relationship for like 10, 5 years, 6 years, 15 years, now you are there. Like you owe this man and this man owe you. But then when these characters start popping up, you'll be like, you start asking yourself those questions of what if, what if, what if. And now this time you'll be asking yourself, how? You see, this time you'll be asking yourself, how? Like, what if I leave? How will I survive outside there? What if I walk away? How will my kids survive? What if I walk away? What will my parents say? How will I be like supporting my parents? You see, all this how and what if. I mean, if you believe in God, that He always opens the way for every other person, however much or in whatever situation you are. And this what if and how should never be a reason for you to stay somewhere that you are getting the beatings every other time, you're getting wounded every other time. Because there are those men that today they beat you, tomorrow they take you to the hospital, the next day they beat you, the next day they take you to the hospital. Like, you see, is kind of, I don't know the exact word, but they tend to like behave in such a manner. Like they care, they don't care, they care, they don't care. And so this one, it makes you feel like this man will change. But as time goes by, you find that things don't really work as you wish or as you are yearning for. Because every other time you get beaten, taken to the hospital, get beaten, taken to the hospital. I mean, this is an abuse. It's an abuse in representation of caring, of which it doesn't make a whole sense. It doesn't. And so you find that if a lady starts asking herself, like, how will I survive? Because I don't have a job. How will my kids survive? But then you should be asking another question. What is the picture that I'm showing my kids? Because the more you get beaten every other day in front of them, it affects them mentally. That is number one thing you should always know. It affects them mentally. And then as they grow, they get affected with that. And this you will find that it will also reduce their activity or activeness in whatever they are doing. Perhaps in school, they'll always be dull. I mean, you've seen those kids that their parents suffers abuse. If you are keen enough, you'll realize that those kids that are always lonely, they don't always want to be associated with other kids in school. You find that when you talk to them, they will tell you that they are really passing through a lot. And this a lot is happening at home because they are not happy about the dad beating the mom every other day. And they even fear going back at home because in most cases you find that if the beating becomes worse, now they screaming and now they start chasing one another around the house or maybe around the compound, and this really affects the kids. But then you are there asking, like, how will I survive? I don't have a job, I don't have anything to start with. But now you are not looking at the bigger picture of like the effects it's bringing to your kids. You see, so if you find all these things, like if you're a lady and you are going through all these things, I believe instead of letting your kids growing in a manner of, or growing with that scenario in their brains, you see, and instead of just letting it affecting them, I believe you should just do the due diligence, just do the right thing for once, because just like I said, your body doesn't have a repair, and then the life you're living, you just live it once. Because such scenarios, you see the chasing around of a lady around the house and maybe around the compound. Someday this man will just wake up and it will be all over the news. A man has stabbed the wife like several times and he ended up burying her. You see, when the kids see this, because you see the kids don't really forget, and then he will end up like killing the kids as well. And it should just stop. I believe like this is, it's something that it's not even okay to happen in our homes, you see, because marriage as sweet as it is, it should always remain sweet. it shouldn't remain, it shouldn't turn into a vampire thing or uh, uh, walking dead thing. You see, it should always be as sweet as from the word go, from the way it started to the time both of you will depart this world. That is how I believe marriage should be. And so don't always ask yourself, how will I survive? God is always there. Like, you will survive. You've been surviving all through, even before you got married into that. Before you even start knowing this man, or you've been surviving. I mean, from your childhood, you've been surviving. This man was not there when you are a kid or when you are a teenager. You see? So don't ever, it should never be a reason for you to be abused just because you don't know how you are going to survive when you walk away or when you walk out. Number 3 is toxic masculinity. This toxic masculinity, it relates with the first point that we stated, the cultural thing, because you find that this toxic masculinity, it's really means that or it refers to, like, a man should always be the head. He should always be like taking care of everything. He should always be in charge of the marriage, of the relationship, of the kids, of the house. Of course, that's a responsibility. Just like I said, it's a responsibility for the men. But then you'll find that it comes with another thing. This thing is when you as a lady suffers the abuse, and then you tell or you threaten to walk away, or you tell your man that I'm not seeing this thing working because I can't stay here, be beaten like every other day, getting bruises all over my body, losing my beautiful face. I think it's high time I should just go. And then the man is like, you know what? If you walk away, I'm gonna kill myself. What is that? Or if you walk away, I don't know how I will survive. What is that? That is bullshit. Or you hear them say, like, there is no one that can have you if it's not me. And this alone will trigger something. If you are wise enough, this alone will trigger something. Because if a man tells you, if you walk away, then I don't really think anyone can have you apart from me. That's already a danger. That's a sign. It's danger. Because this man will never leave you. And it happens with the ex-boyfriends, with the ex-men. You see, a lady was in a relationship, and then she never got comfortable with the marriage or relationship, and then she walks away. And then the guy is like, there is no one who can have you apart from me. And so if you're a lady and you be like, you walked away and you feel like you're living your peaceful life, yet this guy is like your shadow. He's always following you everywhere you go. Even in that marriage of yours, he will follow you. He always follows you. But now he only has one mission. And the mission is not to get you back or to like seduce you back or to like make amends on where he went wrong. The mission is to kill you. And so if you're a lady and you've been in that, you know, I say, you've seen these stories trending. A man going to the lady's house, and you see, like, finding her there with the kids, and he threatens her with a knife, like he will kill her if he doesn't get back to him, if she doesn't get back to him. You see, these things are danger. You see, that is like, you shouldn't be living in that life. And so if you're a lady and these things, I think the best scenario is just to report. when you find yourself, never get too comfortable after walking away or after walking out of a relationship or marriage, because such things happen. They do happen, and you've seen them on social medias, you've seen them on televisions, you've seen them happening around the globe. They do happen, and maybe most reasons you find that somebody is in drugs, or maybe some of them are just sober, just in a sober mind, and they end up doing all these activities. And so be very, very careful, because just like I said, your life, you live it once. Your body doesn't have a repair. You live your life once. The second life you live is when you depart this earth. That one is in heaven. Your spirits, you'll be enjoying with the angels up there. And so we are going to number 4. That is submission or male dominance. Male dominance. What does this mean? Submission, you find that when you talk of submission, you find that ladies tend to have the idea of, I have to submit myself despite all that is going on. I have just to do my due diligence. This is because you also relate it to the first point, the culture, because the culture believes a lady should always be submissive. It should always be below the husband, or yeah. So you find that in this scenario, you don't have to you don't even have a chance to express yourself, but instead you're just there getting the beatings, getting mistreated, mishandled, getting abused, but you don't talk. I think you don't talk. Instead, you should, instead of talking, you figure out I'm just a woman. What can I say? I mean, he's the head of the house, so whatever she wants or whatever he wants, so whatever he wants, I'll give him. But there is this funny scenario, just the third point or the second point. There is this scenario whereby a man beats you, he takes you to the hospital, and then that same night, after getting out of the hospital, after getting treated, he sleeps with you. You're having sex. So it's making you to be at a confused scenario, asking yourself, is this love, or is this an abuse, or is this pretense? You see, you are getting confused because a man beats you today, takes you to the hospital tomorrow. That same night of tomorrow, he sleeps with you. He wants sex, and then you feel I love him. He loves me. Oh, he doesn't love you. This guy is just pretending. That's the thing. He's just pretending. And so, if you are wise enough, perhaps one thing that you can do if you are a lady, in that scenario whereby you're getting beaten today, or you're getting beatings today, and then tomorrow you're taken to the hospital, and then the night after tomorrow, the night for that tomorrow, you're having sex. I believe you should just see a therapist. Maybe a therapist can help, or the obvious one, kneel down, talk to him. If he will listen to you in that mood, you see, that 2 days that he is in good mood, in that mood of sex and all that, you can kneel down, pray together. I believe God will hear you, because there is no one that God doesn't listen to. So God will hear you, God will work things out. That is it. But don't stay somewhere and you be I have to submit myself. The submission part, it's never submission, because you will realize it when now you're being threatened to be killed, or you're being, somebody is just butchering you on a broad daylight. That is when you will realize that submission really don't work at some point. So if you are out there and you are listening to me, and probably you are passing through all this that I'm saying, I believe, or maybe I would advise, because you'll see, like, most people will start saying, you're not there when we started dating, you're not there when we got married, you're not there when, and so I know my man. You see, they will be like, I know this man, I've been with him for the past 10 years, and I know he can change. But surprising part that is that he doesn't change. That is the surprising part. And so you feel like I'm destroying your relationship, or I'm misadvising you on your marriage. But the thing is, you know what to do, because it's both of you, the two of you. You know how you found one and you went through. You see, as most reasons for most women, that you don't know what we've been through. And so you can just take the abuse in the name of you don't know what you've gone through, up to the point where we are. Lack of legal protection. That is number 6. I don't know if it's number 6 or number 7. But then our next point is lack of legal protection. This means that you find that as much as this happens, as much as all this happens, as much as you see the beating, the abuse is happening around different homes, however much the girl child goes to report to maybe the responsible law society, they tend to take time, because you see, I've had scenarios whereby a lady goes to a police station, she reports that her husband is really beating her, like is really mishandling her, and the husband has even threatened to kill her. But then the policeman, or the person in charge of the law and order in the society, is telling her that, you know what, we really don't know how this started, because first and foremost, it's just two of you who got married. Another thing, the weird part is that he's telling her that, you see, even in your wedding, we never came, or in your marriage, you never invited us. And so, I really don't know how to help you, because this guy, I don't know him. You see, such responses, like, they seem not to care, because they believe marriage is for the two people, marriage is only for the two of you. And you find that at some point, those that are in charge of law and order in the society, they say, like, you see, most of the times we've gone to, like, solve that scenario by maybe arresting the man, but you find that the lady later comes back and bails the man. What does this mean? Yet, this is the man that threatened to kill her. So the lady comes back and bails the man in the name of he will change, in the name of she loves her. She loves him, I mean. So these policemen, they also tend to be like, we don't really meddle much into your marriage, because whatever actions we'll take, maybe sooner or later you come and start telling us that, oh, I want my man, you know what, yeah, this man has changed and all that. Yet it's not the case. So you find that the law society, they tend to, like, have a slow reaction upon these cases, because perhaps the past experience, maybe just like I said, they arrest the man, and then the lady comes back maybe a week or two later, and then bails the man in the name of she loves the man. And so they tend to like react, they tend to take a slower action upon these cases, even if they are being reported. And so you find that the only time they will start acting is maybe when they hear the lady has been killed, or maybe the lady now is no more. That is now they will start searching for the man. And perhaps the man might also as well as kill himself, or maybe just vanish into the thin air. And so I really feel like as much as these things do happen in marriage, you like someone being arrested and then later getting bailed by the partner, as much as the girl child comes and tells you, or maybe you find that a daughter comes and tells the reports the father to the police, and then they be like, the father will come there pretending that no, this daughter of mine have been she has been having mental issues from the time she was a child, and so you really don't have to believe whatever she's saying. Yet this is a threat. This is massacre. You know, the moment you release the daughter, and then weeks later you hear the daughter is no more, and you start regretting as to why you didn't take the earliest action or the fastest action possible. It's not something nice. And so the law society should always like consider, if such reports reach on your desk, just say the fastest reaction, do the due diligence, even if that will happen later, the bailing will happen later, or maybe the pretense of the father coming to say that the daughter is having mental issues, or the mother is having mental issues, because it happens. It's not only with the husband. It happens with the dads. It happens with the mothers, the daughters. You see, the dad killing the daughters, or the sons killing their mothers. You see, this femicide doesn't have to be like. It's not only on those that are living in one roof. It happens even with the father trying to kill the daughter, with the son trying to kill the mother, with the ex-boyfriend trying to kill the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend. And so these scenarios, when these reports reach your desk, I think the fastest action should be taken. Number 5 is just like I said, some grow like, you see, when you start experiencing an action that you never saw before, just like I gave an example whereby a mother being beaten every other day in front of the kids, they always see these things. It always like affects them mentally. Even if they're in school, they always stay alone. They always sit alone somewhere, because they are being affected mentally. They are being tortured mentally. And so you find that as time goes by, as days goes by, everything that's like, as days goes by, when all this happen, they see them. They look at what is happening around them. And these things, just like a plant growing, it will grow in their mind. And so someday when the mother will run away, or maybe the mother will be normal, and then they get married, themselves, they get married, you find that these things will start coming back. It will come back, and so it will be like passed through to them. They'll be like, they're the ones now beating their wives. Reason being, it's not their wish to do that. It's because they grieve seeing these things happening. They grieve seeing the mom being beaten by the dad, the mom being injured, getting injuries every other time by the dad. They see all these things happening, and they be like, it affects them. Even in terms of education, they cannot perform simply because of the what is happening back at home. And so the more reason we always say, like, you as a lady, you should stop asking yourself what if, or how. It should never be the case for you to stay somewhere you're being abused. It should never, because as you are asking yourself these things, look at the life of your kids. Look at how your kids are going, like the way they are growing. Are they growing normal? Because you are there asking yourself how, or what if. But then, how about your kids? Will they also ask themselves how or what if? They won't. It will just be like passed to them directly. And so, childhood trauma is a very dangerous thing. It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing. As compared to perhaps it starts happening like due to drug. Some of it happens because maybe addiction. We find that somebody was not drinking. They went into the marriage while this guy was the holier person. Holy, they say holy than thou. And now someday something just happens and boom, the guy comes back home drunk. And then the first day he comes back home drunk, he's the wife gets some slaps because the wife has been asked, "Where is my food?" And the wife just simply responds, "Actually, you didn't leave any money for the food, so even as you've not eaten." And guess what? That's the beginning of the fight. So the wife will get some slaps, or even blows in front of the kids. The next day, the same thing happens. The man comes back home drunk. He didn't leave any money. The same things happen. What happened yesterday happened the next day. The beating, the slaps, the word. And now it becomes a norm. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. You see, and then the funnier part of this thing is when the man is not drunk, you find that he's just a good person. He's very good. It's even like he listens to every problem that is in the house. But the moment he goes out there, meet friends or do whatever he always does, and then gets back home drunk, now that house turns into a hell, or that palace turns into a hell where no one is being listened to. And so drugs can also be something that contributes to the abuse, and then ending up into femicide. And so when you see your partner, like, he was never a drunkard, or he was not using the drugs, but now he has started. The best thing to do is perhaps, if he can listen to you as a lady, take him to a therapist, or maybe a rehab for that case, so that you avoid your kids being affected in the future because of what they are seeing. If you take him to a rehab, then if he is willing to, he will change. If he is not willing to, then that's the point where things jump from frying pan to fire. And so I would like it to leave it at that point, but I'll leave you with I'll leave you with maybe a word from a marriage counselor. He once said that love should never kill. Love should never silence you, because love is meant to make you happy. Love is meant to make you feel like being born again. And so if you find love that is hurting you, if you are in a position whereby that love is hurting you, is breaking you into pieces, is killing you, then don't stay. Get out. move, go as further, go as fast as you can. Don't let that love that you once yearned for, like, kill you or break you into pieces, because you are not made for that. You are never made for to be killed by love. You are never meant to be silenced by love, but instead you are meant to be happy. You are meant to be joyous. You are meant to fulfill your desires. So thank you so much. If you find this episode interesting, please subscribe, please share, and comment where you feel we've not touched, or maybe where you feel like you can add some points that I've missed out. And so if you also have somebody who you feel like this episode will help, please share. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned until we meet next time.